have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe enough. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We did it. We went to Decon. What a freaking week. Craig Goldberg's calling me right now. I'm not going to answer it. I literally just stepped out of the movie theater. I went and saw Wicked, Jay, but dude, Decon was insane. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of pickups. But first, how are you doing? How are you doing post? Listen, guys, hold on. I'm not going to ask you this yet.
Okay.
I witnessed Jay Key in like ultimate form this week. Helped out with the booth. Literally didn't do much, Jay. You are like the hardest working man at any convention I've ever seen.
Not true.
We were there early. The booth was, I'm not just saying this, maybe the best booth there. And I think it's the best booth I've ever seen. It was so fun to watch you like be in that world and all the people you know, and to like work your magic and sell toys. I could tell you were having like a genuinely fun time.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jay?
I'm tired. No, I'm good. It was a whirlwind. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, it's tiring and it feels long because, we drove for 18 hours, basically twice, right? One to the way there, one to the way back. Through the desert. In a relatively short amount of time, a 5-6 day window. Yeah. And a lot of us started, and then we got in and we, basically build our booth, just 3 or 4 of us, right?
Yep.
And we tear it down and we're working and we're, right when that ends, we're, having as much, as we can before you just crash and fall asleep, be able to hang out with our friends and stuff. And it was one of those things where every day was long, but the whole trip felt really short, right? Yeah. And it's one of those things where like, you're so excited to get there. And then you're also like, you're sad when you're leaving. It's like, oh, I woke up and it's like, I'm not going to be talking about vinyl toys with most people today. At least, with you over text and stuff, of course, but not like, not 30,000 of them.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. But no, I'm doing good. I'm back to reality. And
that's not good.
I know, right? And
look at me. I couldn't deal with going back to reality. So I'm wearing a fucking Seatopia thing. I wore this all day. I wore this to work.
I love it. I love it. I did not wear my Gilala shirt to work today, but I should have.
You should have.
It was one of those things where it's just like it was our first Decon and it was so cool and it was so awesome. And whether you view it as a work trip or you view it as a vacation or you view it as both, it checked all the boxes and it was really cool. And I can't thank you enough for helping out last minute. And then of course to our buddies Chaz Foreman and Michael and Ash and a lot of other people there that helped out. Thank you. It was so cool.
Yeah, dude. It was one of the best cons ever. I loved it. It's so different from any of the other cons that I attend. Going to New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con are pretty similar in the vibes and the booths that are there are basically the same. This was very different. This was a group of people that are almost a completely different group of people. It's like friends of mine, but a different side, and I really like that. There were a lot of artists there that I have followed for a very long time and like looked up to, and then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, like there they are, and didn't even know they were. There's this guy named Tim Barron who he's just a really cool artist, and for years I followed him, and he's very positive and he gives a lot of like good advice for artists and stuff like that. And I've always liked that. And then at one point I looked up and he was there and I was like, oh, holy shit, he's here. Like there are just all kinds. And when I say artists, I mean like toy makers, painters, like there's just all kinds of stuff there that I was like, what the fuck? This is such a different thing. And it was really great. And hanging out with Chaz and Michael and Ash and like Adam and Peter and Hector and Gabby and everybody. And it was so cool because like some of the, Peter and the Mondo guys have legitimately become real life good friends.
Yeah.
And then like hanging out with Chaz and Michael, have only met them at Kaiju Go. It's the only time I ever actually met them. But Jay, it felt like hanging out with those two dudes and talking to them felt like I've known them forever.
Yeah.
Like they're both super cool. Like I talked to Chaz a lot, especially like we're just hanging out in the booth. We did a lot of walk-arounds and it was like, oh, it feels like this guy's always been my best friend.
That's how he does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how he sneaks in. That's how he sneaks into your social circle.
It was such a great weekend. I was so overwhelmed by the toys, and
oh my God.
I just had a lot of fun. I got to meet David Igo in person.
Oh yeah.
There was just like
Bull Airs,
man, came by. It's just like, I don't know, man. It was just a good time. It was like a good, positive, fun, not completely kaiju, but so that's what I always miss from the other conventions is kaiju. I love the other toys too.
Yeah.
I love Ninja Turtles and Hasbro and everything else, but like being at this and the pickups that we both got, and it was also just like really fun seeing everybody else's pickups. And like someone would walk out of the booth and come back and be like, well, I bought this, and you're all like, whoa, what is that?
Let me see. Do they have any more left?
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you come from that world where you're constantly going to the Dragon Cons and New York Comic Cons and of course San Diego Comic Con. And I like it's been a long time since I've been to one of those types of conventions, probably C2E2 in Chicago a handful of years ago. But like coming from G Fest, which is hyper focused. So it's a little bit like not quite not quite like one of the bigger Comic Cons because it's one franchise loosely, but like kind of, so it's a lot of kaiju. So my appreciation for DesignerCon is like the opposite end of the spectrum from you. Is I was excited to really expand my horizons and go like into an artist centric, designer centric first place, as opposed to a lot of resellers and stuff. And yes, the Bob Eggletons and the Matt Franks are at G Fest and they're great, but like there's a handful of them compared to Decon where there's 1,000, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to be just surrounded by the folks that are making these toys, painting these awesome, illustrations, doing whatever that their medium is and doing it in a really cool way. And is there a lot of kaiju stuff? Yeah. Is there a lot of monster stuff and horror stuff and weird stuff? Yeah. There's a lot of kawaii and cute stuff? Of course. But there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's all under this umbrella of these are like amazing artists and they're doing this and really pushing the envelope in many cases, be it toys or illustrations or whatever it might be, for the most part. And so it was awesome. And Chaz had talked to me. He's like, Jay, it's a different experience. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, of course. I know a handful of things that are going to be there. Of course I'm going to love it. It's going to be great. I probably didn't realize how much I was like, oh my gosh, like this feels like home base, right? This feels like the place I want to go every year to see what's new and buy lots of stuff. I don't even think I get that at G Fest or anywhere. Like it just seems like every year could be a totally different experience. And I think that was really cool. So A+, 10 out of 10. It's probably the coolest convention gathering of people that I've ever been to. It was very, very, very awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And I wish, more of the YHS like family was there. And I think the plan is for everybody. They all saw how much fun we were having.
Yeah.
And I think the plan is to come next year. It was really cool. Like Mad Hatter was there, who, if you're listening and you don't know who he is, look him up. He is a toy tuber. But it was so funny because he was pretty confused about the whole thing. And he knew it was, it's not the things that he usually, so he was just like, what is this? And, but it was cool for him to be there. And I don't know, dude, it was just fun. Like, at Comic-Con, there's the VIP night, when it opened up on Friday, it reminded me of San Diego Comic-Con a little bit because they also have a VIP night and or early access or whatever you want to call
Preview
it.
night, yeah.
Preview night's what they call it, yeah. And you know, people get in and the doors open and people run, much like they were doing here, because there are, you know, there's exclusives. The thing is, the exclusives at Decon sometimes are one of one or or two of two or whatever. And it's like when I go to Comic-Con, usually I don't usually care about any of the exclusives. Like sometimes there's one or two where I'm like, oh, I'm going to try to get that. But there's still so many of them that even though I want to try to get the exclusive, it's not something I have to rush around or run for.
Yeah.
This time we're like, you know, we're vendors, so we're in there all day on Friday, and we're like, hey, you think they'll start selling to us yet before the doors open? Maybe we can get some toys. So, dude, it was just cool, man. We got a lot of pickups, and I don't think we have any news or anything tonight. We're just gonna it's basically gonna be just a pickup episode. And I do wanna say sorry for my setup. I know it's a little dark, it's a little weird. It's because I didn't realize we were podcasting today, and I didn't reset up. And like I said, I went to the movies tonight. So
wait, it's naturally dark in Seatopia anyway. So I think it's probably 100%.
Also, before we start getting into pickups, I will say my 3 largest pickups are in the mail because I could not fit everything and get it home. So I have 3 pickups that I got at Decon that I will not be showing off tonight. I'll show them off on the next episode. So
unacceptable, dude.
I know. I was, you know, at one point I thought about, I was like, oh, well, I could probably throw the box of this one away and still get it home. But then I was like, well, I don't want to throw the box away just yet. And then at one point I almost did this. I almost just had you ship a bunch of my clothes home.
Yeah.
So I could put the toys in my suitcase, the bigger toys. But I'm a 39-year-old man, and I thought that maybe that would be a little childish, or I don't know. So yeah, we got some toys on the way.
They are in, as of this morning, Jake, they're in Jackson, Mississippi, and they're scheduled to be there on Friday. And better than me, I have one that is en route, but it's en route from Hong Kong because there was some shipping stuff that the toy seller there wasn't able to get it to Vegas in time. So I don't know when that's coming.
Oh, right. I know.
Yeah. Which hey, you had to buy that one for me.
I'm the one involved.
Yeah. And on preview night. So no worries. And I mean, hey, it's not like even with those being being in the mail, it's not like you're without a few good pickups.
Well, do you got anything else before we start? Or do you want to just get into it?
We can get into it. I mean, I'm sure things will pop up of like, oh yeah, that reminds me of blah 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 blah.
We got Kaiju pickups. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, Kaiju pickups with our host Jacob and Jay. Rock on! Yes!
Yeah, do you want me to go first? You want to do kind of
you go for it, and then
I can actually share a few pickups that I got right before Decon. So these are my non-Decon pickups, and there's some really cool ones, and one in particular I'm really all of them, but one in particular I'm really stoked about. But the first thing I got, so remember last time we chatted, I finally added something Shin Godzilla to my collection. I got the pink Marusan, the 350, but the fourth form with the pink with the teal accents. Well, of course I get that. I gotta get I have to get the Kamada-kun, the second form of that same colorway to pair with it. Now we just need him to make a third, and we will be rocking and rolling. But I love this colorway. It's my favorite. I did have some of these in the Tokyo Toy Town booth, and they
looked
sold.
good.
They sold.
They looked really good. All the fourth form shins and it all looked good together. It was great.
100%. The other one, and so listeners, the longtime listeners of the show, I've already talked to Jake about this. He's not going to be surprised. He knows that this is a pickup that he's been wanting, but
I know what this is
not the colorway he's been wanting. So I felt good about it.
Yeah,
of course, if I came across
you're allowed.
Thank you. But if I came across the other one, it actually isn't my favorite color, so it works out very perfectly. But I would have told him, but I was able at a really good price. A guy that actually buys from me on Tokyo Toy Town was selling these, and he just wanted to get away. He actually has a handful of these, so this colorway I guess probably was his least favorite, but I love it. And it is from the always fun, that despite not being around anymore, Toy Graph. And these are the pair of transforming Mecha Godzillas, the 25 and the 50%. And I got the glow in the dark variants, which I really like these. And they're so cool. They're so, I mean, I had to get it because if I have the original art over here of this toy, there he is. He's over there. If I knew how that works, if I left him, right. So I had to get one that goes nicely with that. So I was able to pick these up. I love them. I love just the two different color eyes on the 25% and then the 50%. I mean, that's just their Mecha Godzilla head sculpt is just so fun. So fun. But yeah, I'm super pumped to have these in the collection finally, and yeah, I love these guys.
Jay, I'm glad you got them. It felt like a spiritual moment when I walked into your toy room and got to hold those, because I think they might. I think collectively those two figures might be my favorite Sofubi, and they've been on my top 10 list for the last couple of years. They did drop back on the last list because they just weren't in the forefront, but they might be higher up this next, seeing them and holding them, and they're beautiful, man. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, I think the first time I was able to see them in person, I think it's always, at least to me, it was a little shocking. I think they're deceptively big. I think they come across as like they're medium size. No, these are like 9-inch tall, 8.5, 9-inch tall vinyl toys, and they're big and they're well done.
They feel different too to me. They felt sturdier. They felt a little heavier than some other Sofubi. They got a good like they're very grabbable. Good pickups.
Yes. I mean, Toy Graph's wonderful. And the last thing I got, Pre-Decon, which I saw this up. My heart started going. I got to get until that confirmation email was sent. I was like, because there's one. This is a 1 of 1, and you'll see why in a second.
1 of 1.
It's a 1 of 1.
Wow.
Because it is a piece of art. It is. It's still in the plastic bag here. I'll take it out slowly. It is another original Mark Nagata. This is the header card art for his Mirror Man, Fireman, Buskas, and kind of those toys. And so I love Fireman. I love Mirror Man. I love Buska. We have a little kitty fire on there. Lots of good creatures here. Atlantosaurus over there. I just absolutely love this. I'm excited to get this framed. This was beyond a no-brainer for me. This is one of my favorite ones. Because like I said, just the randomness of the monsters and stuff on here. So that was so cool to get it. I'm gonna do a little panorama here. Little there.
Ooh,
look how cool that is. Look at that, guys. Look at that boost. There he is. There's our buddy Buska. There's Fireman. It's just so cool. Mirror Man up here on the top here. Look at him there. Mirror Man's there. That will be the last we'll see of Mirror Man tonight. But I am so excited to own that. I love Mark and Max and the Nagata family are the best. We got to hang with them again at Decon.
Yeah, it was a very good. They are the sweetest people. It was so good walking around and talking to them. All through the weekend. Great people.
And if you're ever at a convention or an art show with Mark and Max, and they're the most approachable people too. I think sometimes we get. I do. I'll speak for myself, but and get intimidating by these guys that have done so much in this space that we love. And Mark has obviously, when you have exhibits that are dedicated to not only your art but your collection, it can be intimidating. And they're the least intimidating people ever. They're so nice, and it's awesome to see really talented people be really nice people. And it's so good to chat with them, and they're funny and just good people, good people. And I love his art style. Love it, how he approaches these header cards. Mm-hmm. And so I'm super excited. One of my biggest, no joke, Jake, one of my biggest collecting regrets, my misses was recently when his Toho Header Card Original came up, and I just missed it out by a few seconds, right?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it was up there. And luckily the Mecha Godzilla one came up soon after, but
Right.
his Max Toy they did for Max Toy Japan, that one is amazing. And
Yeah.
I'm whoever got that, I'm very happy for you. But that was a really, really cool piece. And so I'm going to make sure if I can avoid it, I'm not going to miss any more of these awesome things.
Yeah, you got to.
So my Decon pickups, I mean, here's the thing, like on Friday, you know, I had to lean on Michael and Ash. They helped us out so much. I had to lean on Chaz. I had to lean on Adam from Thirsty Thursday Toys. And of course, you were out there. Most of these, I think you might have picked up for me. And I owe you guys, because I would have been able to get a lot of these if that was, you know, if you guys weren't there. I'd just been stuck in the booth because some of these were really hard to get. And the first one that I got, and this is when I knew Decon was going to be great. Like it was like, I was like in the first hour, I was able to get one that I think he had one or two of, and it's a toy I've been trying to get for a while, and it's a colorway I really liked, and it was at Decon. There was it had everything going for it, and that's from Futile Toys, their Space Dino, and I just absolutely love this guy. I know you went over to the toy art gallery table, the tag table, which they had a collection of a lot of small runs, 1 to 5 toys from artists that we love. Just a huge collection of artists, right? This is a roster of like the best. Futile Toys was one of them, and I was able to get this this gold, red, just awesome looking kind of vintage, weird dinosaur, Spinosaurus looking guy, Space Dino. But if I would have left Decon and this would have been the only thing I got, I think I would have been pretty happy. Looking back now, all the other stuff that popped up, it seems like it was because this was the first one, but this was absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I'm so happy to own this. It was like probably number 1 or 2 on my list going in of what to get. That if I like these are my as close to must-haves as I could have. So thank you for picking that one up,
Jay. I'm pretty sure that was a 1 of 1. At least they only had one at the show. If there is another colorway, then they just didn't have it, because I actually picked up that for you before the show opened. And
you mean right when the show opened?
Right when the show opened, and that's the display model they were like, that's it. We just had the one here. So I'm glad we were able to grab that before somebody else did, Jay.
Yeah, so cool.
I was happy about that.
The next thing I got, you also picked up, and this is when you were basically like, because I know you got your some of your main stuff, and this was like you're being a proxy and helping, because we didn't know what some of these retailers had.
Well, that Jay, that's a thing that I thought was really cool about the convention is we, before the first day we're setting up, and Michael and Chaz are like, hey, do you guys got your lists together? Give us our list. And I was like, I don't want to I'm scared. I don't know how to put a list together. But I did have kind of a mental list of things I wanted to make sure I picked up. But then you're walking around and it's like you're seeing so much new stuff. And it's like some of the stuff that was just like on a whim is more of my favorite stuff than the shit I had like on a must-have list. So you're just constantly seeing. And you know what? I just want to do this a shout out real quick. I didn't buy anything from the Mushroom Toys table, but I kept going back to it. I kept staring at it. I own some stuff from them. Jess buys from them a lot. But I saw some things at their table that I had never seen in person before, and I was just like, oh, this stuff is going on top of the after Decon list. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of that, but not to cut off what you were saying, but
no, I think that dovetails nicely, because this was something that falls into that bucket. I didn't know these existed. And so on Instagram before, there was probably, other than Space Dino, the other thing I really wanted, and we didn't know where they were dropping this, but a toy retailer from Hong Kong, Toy Cube, was there. They had a great setup, a lot of cool stuff, and they were bringing in a lot of different like Hong Kong toy makers and some other toy makers and selling their stuff there. And they had announced this really cool Pigmon wearing like the Ultraman costume. We had no idea on the size or anything. And that was the one that they had issues shipping in. And so that's en route to me, but that wasn't actually at Decon, even though it was a Decon exclusive. And
that's
so
what I was going over.
Yeah.
I was going over to grab that for you.
Yeah, you were going over to grab that, and then you come by and you show me they have like they're a big enough retailer where they have like a printed off like checklist,
Yeah.
has all the different stuff that they have from all their different toy makers. And I'm looking at it and I start seeing, oh my gosh, they have this really cool line of kind of like your Henshin heroes, your Tokusatsu heroes, but it's like Ultra 7. I'm like, awesome. Then Mirror Man. Then I see like Eisenborg and I see Baron 1, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is like all this cool stuff. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, Jake, you gotta help me out. You gotta help me out. And so you were able to get the two that I really wanted that were there. And I think this might be something that I keep buying. I really do. It's from a manufacturer, a designer, Mascot. It looks like Mascot or whatever. I don't know anything about them. They don't have a huge like social presence, but their toys are awesome. And they had like, I don't know what, like 9 or 10 different
they had a
ones
bunch
there.
of them. Yeah. And then they had a random Balton in the middle of them all.
The Balton was great. Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
like a lot of the heroes and then a Balton. Yeah. And they were great. They were really cool.
So this is the Mirror Man.
It was Jay. It was the kind of thing where when I saw them, I took a picture because I was like, Jay's gonna want these.
Oh yeah,
I knew it.
These are so cool. So here's the Mirror Man. He's big. Like I mean, like they're not like they're kind of that chibi style, oversized head. But like I mean, look here's him next to the toy graph. I mean, they're 8-9 inches.
Size.
They're not super distorted, but the head is a little oversized. But they're really well done. This is like a very like, officially licensed type thing here. It's beautifully done. I love the kind of clear plastic eyes here on Mirror Man. This
Good
looks
colors.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I'm super pumped that this was there and it was a no-brainer. And it was very inexpensive for what you get in the world of Sofubi. I was very excited. I think it was like $125 for it. And then the other one I get, of course, I'm going to, go to my 777. And so I got to get Ultra 7. There he is.
Woo. Look
at him. My favorite of the Ultra Brothers. So badass. So cool. Yeah. I love this so much. They nailed it. This is a freaking cool line that it's, I mean, I have a feeling they're going to go deep and like, really some crazy. I mean, if they had a Spectreman or a Fireman, I would have just given them my wallet and said like, charge me whatever.
If they would have had a Spectreman, I just would have grabbed it for you.
You just grab it, yeah. You know it.
Jay, it's cool. It's cool when you're like, Sofubi is like we literally dedicate. We have full. You have a business that is dedicated to Sofubi. We talk about it constantly. So when you're at a show. And then there's like, never heard of this Sofubi company ever in my life. Ever. And they're just like, not only are they like not brand new, they have a ton of cool stuff at their booth. So that's awesome.
And that's why I think DesignerCon was so overwhelming is we know Sun Guts and Marusan and Mondo and all these, and we know a lot of the artists there that were the smaller artists, but there were still dozens upon dozens of people making stuff that like on the surface we like yes, you're doing that, of course I would love that, and then some that were like creating things that we didn't know we needed and we liked. And I think that's what was the coolest thing, was the discovery element of just discovering new toys, new lines, new styles, new aesthetics, new artists, new designers. It just blew me away. That was one example, and they were just so cool. But that wasn't all we got at that toy cube, because a toy that we've talked about different variants when they started coming out with them about a year and a half ago. Tomonosuke is a Japanese, I believe they're Japanese company, but they have a relationship with Toy Cube as well. And so they sent their signature piece, the Mammoth King from Moonlight Mask, the original Tokusatsu show on TV from the late 50s in Japan. And his baddest dude was Mammoth King. And I got this exclusive duotone version. I love this guy. They had 3 different variants there. They had a painted brown one, and they had a glow in the dark one that kind of was almost looked like, like a cartoon Yeti, right? Like white and light blues. But I love this weird kind of metallic duotone that they released. And this thing is so cool because yes, it's Mammoth King. The sculpt is awesome. The design's awesome. He's the first kaiju ever really on TV in Japan. It comes with a lot of cool materials talking about the history of Moonlight Mask, the history of Mammoth King, all that cool stuff. But, he's not done.
That's not
because
all.
it's not all, folks, because you can take off his head and there's the suit actor, which is so cool. Look at there. I mean, you made this comment when we were looking at this, like every Sofubi should just like head should pop off in the suit actor.
I agree.
You know,
Hey,
so,
I agree with myself.
I
That
know.
is true.
Jake, you're smart, man.
I am. Jay, that toy. So I didn't know anything about that character until you bought it, and like you just said, it came with like a booklet, with the history of it, and that feels like an important toy. It made me want to go buy it, like knowing that that's the first ever kaiju,
on TV,
on TV, and have that with having the suit actor represented there. It literally made me like, I was like, oh, I need to know everything about this kaiju.
It's a great sculpt.
I need to go watch this. Yeah, I was like, I just think that's a really cool. Like that is a piece that's in your collection that isn't just another Godzilla on your shelf. Like there's some you can teach somebody something with that toy.
They taught me a lot. It's great, and this is and it also comes with the little acrylic actual Moonlight mask. So Gecko Common right here, and the logo there, little acrylic one on his motorcycle, like running into to fight Mammoth King. So just really cool stuff. It's a steal at the price they were offering it for, and with all the stuff you get, and it's a big piece. It's so well done, beautifully crafted. One of my favorite pickups from the entire week.
Yeah,
but wasn't my biggest from a size standpoint, because then when I'm wandering around and I'm just, I can't go by the Max Toy booth and not buy something because their stuff is so amazing. And I've been on the Captain Max line, and I have my eyes on that spoke to me. I got it at Kaiju Go. I have a lot of the ones that kind of spoke to me, but what I didn't have, I don't even know how to fit it up the stairs. It's so big. Is this amazing Shin eyes on a Mark Nagata painted Shin eyes? Look at this. Look how big this thing is. Look at that. It's gigantic.
Whoa.
I don't even know. I mean, it's one of the biggest Sofubi items I have. It's so cool. It's, it's Shin-ized eyes on. So it's a little leaner, a little grosser. He has his tongue coming out there. Look at that.
He looks like a melting popsicle.
Yeah, he does. And he has, as you put, he has the eye in the palm of the hand there, one of his many eyes.
Yeah.
And I love the paint colorway. We kept on putting this next to the Marmit Megalon San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from 2009 or something that has the same colorway. They look good together.
Yeah.
So cool. I mean, the veining there in the legs, very cool. Yeah. I forgot the name of the person that sculpted this for the Max Toy, but this was another. I saw it and I was like, no, I'm not leaving this table without this. I mean, because like I said, been looking for one, and I love this colorway, and we got it at Decon, and I think there's something always cooler about buying it there with the designers and the painters and everything right there in front of you. It just makes it look a lot cooler. Speaking of Kaiju Go, we did meet our buddy, or not meet, we saw again our good buddy over at the front of the hall at Decon, Eddie from Ressinblood, the famed tattoo artist and toy maker, and just all around good dude. And his Mr. Unnatural, those things just fly off the shelf. They're so good. Yep. And I recently picked up a Speed Skull from him. I love that character, and it's so cool, especially with the cape. But what I've been wanting to get, and he didn't have any at Kaiju Go, or he sold out before I had a chance to see them. And his website, he's been sold out of them for a while, but I love his Gort figure. And Gort is kind of like that, like very, retro sci-fi type vibe, and he has one that it comes with like a laser beam you can put in his like his visor, and I love all of his colorways, but I really like what he does with his like clear and translucent. So I was able to get this really cool like bright pink reddish Gort. So he's gonna look very red on here. He's more pink in person, just the lighting, but he's so cool. And like I said, he comes with a little laser beam you can put here in his visor, a little laser blast, and it fits right in there. And that way, when he stands up, can shoot out the laser.
That's
it's very cool. I also like, I'm going to take it out because I want to show you something. I love this about it. It's kind of the equivalent of when you get a vintage toy from Japan and it has like the kids riding on the foot, like the name of it.
Yeah.
we've all seen in photos and stuff like Ressinblood does so much stuff in his shop. It has a little on the bottom. It has a little paint splatter, and I think that adds so much coolness to it. That like this, hey, this dude was making this by hand in his shop while he's tattooing people, while he's doing his shirts, while he's doing everything that he does, making toys. And I just think it adds to it. Like, yes, this was not on an assembly line somewhere. This is somebody's blood, sweat, and tears and paint. It makes it like, to me, 1,000 times better. So I was really excited to get a Gort finally. So that was when I was on the board.
The color of that thing looks great. And then, I mean, that's such a classic. I'm surprised you don't see more Day of the Year Stood Still stuff. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I like how he taps into existing properties, and, you know, the Man Things and the Mr. Naturals and everything and gives him his spin. And I think that's really cool. And I think it's really neat. And I love, like I said, I love that retro sci-fi aesthetic. Almost anything that I can get in that is golden. So I love it. I love it. So I have one more pickup two more, but one will be kind of nice transition because it's something that you got as well. So it'll be nice. But before that, my favorite thing that I got, because it was a gift, it was a birthday present from our good buddy Chaz Foreman. And it proves that he knows me. He knows me a little bit. And it's from a toy maker in Japan called Big One Craft. And they do a very blow mold style looking, somewhere like, it looks like somewhere between like a bootleg blow mold and a Butana Hana. Like, it has a cool vintage vibe. And he got me this awesome 3-pack of my boys from Spectreman, done in the classic Tokyo old school Bullmark style colorway of the yellow, green, and orange. So we got Spectreman. He's ready to fight. He's in this fighting stance there. Yes, this is just everything I like about toys. And here's Karas beating his chest. He's ready to go raw if you're watching the Japanese version. I love this one. This is a great sculpt. You can see his little, like his, whatever that called, the Trojan skirt thing that he wears. Very well done. But I love me some Dr. Gory, and this Dr. Gory is great because he is in full hand motions mode there. He has touchdown. The field goal is up and good, but, you know, he's probably doing some of this. Karas, we must kill the people. So good. I love Dr. Gory.
I love that.
Yeah, and these guys look so good together. I mean, amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. 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 It was, it's my favorite thing I got. It's so cool. And I love Spectreman. Thank you, Chaz. I can't thank you enough. And then the last thing I got was awesome because I knew we spent a long time. I mean, they're your buddies. You talk to them so much, Peter and Hector and Abby and the crew over there, the Mondo and Mondo adjacent crew. They're so nice. You know, I've had the privilege of being on a couple shows with Peter now. I think like 3, Collect All Monsters and 2 on Monster Islands. You know, how can you not love Peter? Peter's one of the nicest human beings in the world. He's doing him and Hector and that team. And I'm sure they have a great support staff too, but you know, I see them and have engaged with them the most. What they're doing and what they're making Mondo into is nothing short of amazing. That booth was always packed. It was so cool. They had so many cool things on display from so many properties, from real Ghostbusters to Godzilla. It was so awesome. And they also, the nicest people in the world. They kind of came and hung out at our booth a lot and brought friends over, some famous friends. And I didn't know who they were, but
Backstreet Boys, maybe.
I know, right? I'm the official Sofubi supplier of popular music. Of different eras, of course, but you know, they brought over Mike Becker, the founder of Funko. They brought over, it was just so cool, and that's them in the conversations. They're the easiest people to talk to, and wish nothing the best. But they also had some goods there that we had to get, and they have. I won't say I ever challenged you, but I was like, okay, maybe not. When you said like the Urban Aztec Godzilla, the green and gold is the best variant.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. I have the red one. I like it. But then you see it in person. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
This thing is absolutely stunning. There's something about it that like, this feels right. Like this feels like what like it's a thing, right?
It
like
feels that colorway makes it feel real. Like it was literally found, in like it's like a real artifact that was unearthed.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked about when I got the red one, like the details are great, all the stuff, but this makes it really pop. The medallions, the very Aztec fair that very like that Jesse and he was there, which was really cool too. The artist like just brought to life this relic variant. If you're getting one, guys, if you're getting an Urban Aztec Godzilla, get this variant. This variant is stunning. It is stunning. It should be like on a temple, in on an old Aztec temple, and it would totally make sense next to some of the Frank Mysterio stuff.
Yeah.
Like I could put this next to his Mictlan or his Quetzalcoatl, and this would look really good.
It makes me really hope. Now I know this is wishful thinking because this is not a kaiju that gets a lot of love, but I want an Urban Aztec King Caesar to put next to that. It just
I thought you were going to say Varan. I thought you were going to say Varan.
I mean, Varan would be Varan would look great too, but just the fact that there's that King Caesar statue in that movie. I also got, that's one of my pickups that's on the way to me. I also got the Aztec. I needed it. So, but it's on its way. It's, as Jay said, it's in Mississippi somewhere. It's not as fat. Hey, if it were me and you, it'd be here already. We would have done it in a day. So
that's right. Post office or UPS. But no, there were a lot of pickups, and every one of these, and I know you'll feel the same with yours because we've talked about it.
Yeah.
They weren't like rushing to a table and like, oh my gosh, I want to get this. And like, it was like, these all like spoke to us. Right. And I could walk in and like, I need this. Like, I really do need this. And it's not about, being a completist, because that doesn't factor into this world. It's not about, I'll buy it and, and like, whatever. Like, no, it's like, we saw these and we just like, they embraced like our toy collecting souls, and like, we're like, we got to get them. And I love every one of these.
Me too. And most, like you said, most of my pickups were not premeditated. They were just like, oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, dude. Is that, you got more? Or is that that's all you got?
That's I got.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Well, I got a couple. I don't know, man. There's so many toys in this room. I will show off first. I did get just a couple things that were waiting for me in the mail when I got back, and not all kaiju related. So, hey, if anybody wants to, on this upcoming Tuesday, Toy Anxiety, if anybody wants to check that out, even if it's not usually your thing, go over there and check that out, because I'm going to show off all of these pickups, plus the pickups that I got while I was gone that aren't kaiju related, plus my missing pickups that are going to show up on Friday will also be shown off next week on Toy Anxiety. So it might be a whole episode of my pickups, and it's going to be, I think everybody, Jay, you might even should come on the show next week. And then we'll get to make fun of Craig and Ryan for being confused at all of these toys, because they're not going to know what anything is.
If you want to see some very popular toy tubers be very confused about toys, which that never happens, because these guys can tell you, they can look at a little unpainted accessory from like 1983 and tell you everything about it. And then it's like a different world, but still toys. And just be like, that's why you're so fun, Jake. Is like you have your feet in both of those worlds in a big way. And,
unfortunately, I have too many interests.
Too many interests, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. It's expensive to be me. So
can we make that a shirt? Yes, it's expensive to be me.
The first thing I want to show off, I didn't even know was coming. A friend of mine, my friend Antoine, who flies in to get tattooed from me. Every now and then he gets stuff shipped to my shop, just because it's easier. And when he picks it, whatever, I shouldn't tell his business. But he got a box with some stuff shipped to the shop, and he said, "Hey, one of those is for you. Keep that." And we talked about these a couple weeks ago for Godzilla Day. But he sent this. This is the grip tape from the skateboard company.
Oh, very cool.
He was so funny. He was like, man, I really want one of those skateboards. And then he went to buy one and then realized that they all like sold out immediately. Yeah. But he was like, hey, you could still hang up that grip tape as a print or something. So he bought a couple of these, and he sent me one, and it just looks cool. I don't know if they make a frame that's this size, but this would look cool. Like,
I love the expression. I love the expression of it. It's like a surprised and mad and demented and evil, and I love it.
And it's basically like, look, I don't know anything about skateboarding. I don't know what grip tape is. This basically feels like sandpaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's like a big, I don't know. Is it a sticker? What do you do with this? I don't know, dude. But
you've skateboarded more than I have, probably.
It's okay. So then -1. Then
Yep.
-1. Cool. So thank you, Antoine. That's awesome. So here's another. This toy is amazing. I bought this next toy during a really strict spending. I saw this toy. It was a lottery, and I said, "I'm entering this fucking lottery. I have to get this toy." I have to look. I have to look at the name of this company because it's hard for me to remember. Zhang Yun Mao. I have ordered from them before. If anybody remembers the little blue Godzilla cooking fish over the fire, that was also a lottery from these guys. So something that I really love that I've been getting into, partly because of Mondo, is like the idea of possibly getting rid of other collections I have and just getting the Sofubi versions of those things. And one of the things Mondo is doing is like horror figures. They're doing, they got a Michael Myers Sofubi right behind me up here, actually. And I love that. So when I saw this insane looking Jason figure, I mean, his guts are hanging out. He's got a huge. It looks a lot like the Jason Goes to Hell Jason because the brains are all sticking up. He comes with like a little axe here. I love the fucking guts hanging out, and then he's got like a Baphomet and an upside down cross sticking out of his back. I know my lighting's a little bad tonight.
That is
but I am in love with this Sofubi. He's barefoot. I think the way this is painted, it looks like he's wearing a shirt and no pants. I love it. This is amazing. This is one of the best things I have ever seen. Yes.
I just like when you showed me the photo of this when you said you won the lottery for it, and I was like it was a close up of the face, like not even forget to the guts or the back or the axe or anything.
Yeah.
And just the fact like the small face, like just like attached to this oversized head. I mean, it's like garbage pail kids. I don't know, like it's just so funny and something that you can pull off in this world of vinyl toys and designer toys and Sofubi, and it's beautiful. It's amazing.
I love it. Also, the colors match my shirt almost perfectly. The red and I love this so much, dude.
Well, hopefully your guts aren't hanging out.
Hey, also, like, look at this is the card, and hold on, they did a little drawing. Look at look at that.
Both of those need to be tattoos on you.
Yeah. Hey, they did the same thing. I have the header card for the little Godzilla, and they drew on that one
cool.
too. So I love that. So yeah. So that is. I'm trying to look. Those are my only non-decon pickups here.
Those are great. Dude.
I got a couple things that I grabbed at Decon for Jess that I'm also just going to show off because they're cool, and I picked them up, and I don't know. I might just keep them.
Hey, we invited her on here. She declined to comment.
And she didn't want them on. She was like, "Fuck that show." I almost wasn't going to show this one off, but I've bought from this guy before. Sad Salesman was there. I bought some other sort of Sofubi-ish vinyl toys.
Yeah.
And there was this thing that he had that just wanted called Pearl Boy, and it's like a little shell, like a clam, and the shell opens, and then sitting inside, I don't know if we're even going to be able to see him, but sitting inside, There he is, like lounging.
Oh my gosh,
is a
funny.
tiny little pearl boy, and you put him inside and you display it. And I just thought that was funny.
Very cool.
That's not for me. But I love it. It's cool. Now this next one was I got to look up some of these, make sure I get everybody right. This is from Station City Toys. Really weird, cool pickup that Jess wanted. Now this proves that Jess has good taste, because this is a crazy looking monstrosity of a Sofubi. It's the detail in this is insane. I don't exactly know what's going on with it. It's got like tentacles. It's got another little head right here with a mouth. It looks like there's I don't know, bones and gore and like teeth sticking out of it all over. Jess is a little bit of a crazy person, and she was like, "Hey, I want this so bad." She was very adamant that I picked this up, and I was like, "Hey, I got it." So, yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah, I was looking. The reason I'm looking over to the side, I was looking at the blown up picture of it. I really like. It's not a small toy by any means. You know,
he's chunky. Yeah,
about 6 inches tall. I've never seen so much detail in a sculpt in my entire life. I don't
even know how it was possible.
No, I really don't know how this mold happened. I mean, it's like a for those that like the shape, the outline of that kind of the monster himself is almost like, for those that used to watch Farscape, kind of like Rigel. And it's like this like almost frog, almost a rectangular square type head and these big lips, and literally every millimeter has detail.
Yeah.
And it's gross. And it's like spinal columns and insides of bones, and it just but it's how somebody could have the talent to do that, like holy buckets. Well done, Station City Toys. Gorman is freaking
Gorman.
Just crazy shit, man.
Yep. It's cool.
Yeah.
One other thing that I might keep, she might not get this one. From Draculazer, I got look at this fucking guy, dude.
Yeah.
This guy's so cool. I don't understand how people come up with some of these. Like,
it's beautiful.
It just looks good. The paint is really cool. It's like this weird pale skin tone with a subtle green and blue. It's just a cool guy. He's got a little claw. He looks like he's probably in pain. I would say. I would say this being is not having a good time.
With a half smile, like making the best of a bad situation, you know.
Hope so,
he's in pain, but he's also like, you know, it could be worse. I got one eye left, you know. How good, and look, this is like, for those that listen to us that are into the vinyl scene and into the designer toy scene, like, this is like, you know, saying Babe Ruth was a good baseball player, but like, how good was all the stuff at like Draculazer's table?
Yeah, it was definitely good. And in fact, that was the first table I went to. It was the first purchases I made were at that table. I picked that up for Jess, and then I also grabbed for myself from Draculazer this yokai set. Look at that. I've been eyeing, you know, I've seen these for a while. They have other sets they've done, different colorways. Got a cool little kappa. I can't ever remember what the umbrella guy's called, but he's got faces on. I know it's hard to see because I haven't taken him out of the bag yet, but there's a face on both sides of the.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, one's painted and one's not, but yeah, had been wanting that for a while. He happened to have a set there, so I picked that up, and then I also picked up from him. Not a Sofubi, but he had this book. He had teased this on Instagram, and it's all. Look, I'll read the first page. The following pages are filled with image from yokai. These small pieces of cardboard with images of ghosts and strange creatures were sourced by digging in dusty bins in Japan. So they're basically just like a bunch of like wood block type,
awesome.
drawings of yokai, and I was not going to not pick that up.
That speaks to you.
So, I had to grab it.
On the toys, I'm reading here
Yeah.
because I was pulling it up here so I can like look at the detail out of the bag, right? I mean they're called, this is his spirit variants for Decon, and I didn't realize that gray vinyl is glow in the dark.
Is it?
Yeah, it says the Decon spirit gray vinyl is glow in the dark gray.
Well, hold on. I just took the card off.
That's so cool.
Let's get a better look.
Wow, that's so neat. Look at that guy.
Here's the Kappa.
I love the Kappa.
Yeah, and what I really like is like the subtle color in his shell there. Look at this guy.
I mean, it's a 2-pack of Umbrella Yokai guy and Kappa. Like, if you didn't pick that up, I would have been like, "Are you okay, man? Or is there something wrong?"
Look at that other face. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, these were. This was one of the only things I knew before I got to Decon that I was trying to grab. So
yeah,
needed to have.
I mean, that's an A+ pickup, man.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. I'm just gonna do this really small, quick one because I didn't buy a ton. One of the booths that I circled a lot over the weekend and kind of had my eye on some stuff, but had already spent way too much money. I made like a mental list of toys that maybe would be. I mean, this Friday, a lot of leftovers are going up on websites. I've been seeing a lot of Creature Bazaar, Draculazer. Like a lot of people are all putting their leftovers up online.
I need to put mine up. Holy buckets! I'm behind the game. Yeah,
for sure. And so this is one of the booths that I was like, oh, I want something, but I've already bought so much stuff. The only thing I did buy at the Marusan booth,
oh yes,
I got a little finger puppet guy. They have like a finger puppet game, and man, the Marusan booth is so good because there's so much stuff. We got to meet Lou in person.
Nice.
That was really cool. She's awesome, and they have like a machine, not a machine, but like a big bucket, and you like put your hand in, and all the finger puppets are in like blind bags. And I don't know who this guy is, but he's the one I wanted.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you can kind of feel around a little bit. So I just stuck my hand in. I kind of did a little bit of a feels, and I was like, I think this might be him. And this actually is I think a better colorway than the one they had on display. They had like a blue one. But man, the Marusan booth had a lot of fun stuff. A lot of really cool toys. The dinosaurs.
That colorway of the dinosaurs is the best colorway I think they've ever done.
It is, and I was really jealous of the hat that Chaz got. I wanted it, but it was the kind of thing where it was like, oh, it's a bit more than I thought, and it was also like I've already spent so much money. But I loved seeing Chaz walking around and funny. Kaminaga walking around like. Just in such a good mood wearing that thing. And hey, dude, also like all of these people and all of these booths, you see, I've been following them for a long time online, and I see videos that they post, Lou posts a lot and she helps them out a lot. So you're always seeing like, the Cyclops
from Sun Guts,
from Sun Guts. You see it all the time, and you always see videos of like just all these people, and like then you're like, oh, here we are, we're all together doing this thing.
They're real people.
Like, they feel like celebrities to me, and it's like this is so cool. The other thing I did pick up from that booth that I don't have is they had a stamp they were doing, like an exclusive stamp, like a Marusan stamp, which was really cool. Very cool. I was able to grab one of those, but yeah, little finger puppet dude, I had to get it. That was an impulse thing. Me and Chaz were checking it out.
I was trying to find the I know he's from the Maruman line. I was trying to actually find the name.
Yeah.
I felt like almost every other one, but I can't find the name of that bastard.
I mean, they're all cool. Like I love all of those little Maruman guys, and I was looking at them all weekend. But this guy I don't know, he speaks to me.
Yeah, that's a conversation that Ryan Wilhelm and I have all the time. Mr. Ryan, is like Maruman is kind of a dangerous thing because we love all the sculpts, all the kind of original characters and everything, but there's so many of them and so many cool colorways. It's like you have to start like a whole new collection, and with that's a deep roster of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
scary.
But they're slippery slope. But they were also all much bigger than I thought they were.
Yeah, they're huge,
which happens all the time, But I feel like you get with Sofubi sometimes you get conditioned to be like, well, it's $150. It's probably he's 4 inches tall, you know. So you're just like get in that mindset, and then you get to Decon, and you're like, oh shit, they got a 9-incher over there. I got a couple, Jay. I got a couple things from you that I want to show off.
Oh, cool.
They're Decon pickups, but they're Decon pickups. Dude, you gave me this really amazing Bazaar Mechanicon, which is awesome because like I would have bought anyway, and I was so happy to see this guy get produced. And we all listen. If you're watching the show, you know we all love Mechanicon here, and this is my first and only Mechanicon figure. I don't own any other ones, and it's great. Thank you, Jay.
And also, like, it's officially licensed by Rankin and Bass. So.
Yeah, there you go. Another thing I got, which you gave me, you just gave me this off the shelf, and I don't even know how to explain it, but you gave me this blank Kenagon, and the idea is that you gave this to me with the promise that I would paint it. So, if anybody
and give it to Jess, it's on record, and give it to Jess,
and then it's got to go to Jess. Okay. I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna paint this guy. This is gonna be my first Sofubi. I've ordered some materials. I don't know what colors I'm thinking about doing on this bad boy. We'll see once the paint comes in. But yeah, he gave me this little guy, and I love it.
And to add a little extra coolness to it, that was one I picked up. I bought from our good buddy Martin Nagata. So that was in the Martin Nagata collection.
Oh, that's
that cool blank Marmit glow in the dark Kenagon.
Very cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome. And this is just such a good. I love him eating the coins. It's perfect.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
Yeah,
so good. And also, I kind of like the fact that like the first blank Sofubi toy that you paint is Kenagon. I think that's like it kind of makes sense. I mean,
yeah, it's fitting for sure.
As much as you love Ultra Q and and Jess loves Ultra Q, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, like you said, I don't have my Mondo Aztec Godzilla here to show off.
I'll show him off again.
But something else that I did get from Mondo is Peter did give me his Mecca Godzilla shirt. Jay, you got one as well.
I did. I wore it the Sunday of Decon.
Yeah. This is this art is on the box for Peter's Mondo Mecca Godzilla, and it's just that we've talked about that figure so much. It's a beautiful figure. I'm glad they put the art on a shirt.
Yep.
So thank you, Peter, for the shirt. Got
so
that
cool.
bad boy. Let's see what else do I got. I did pick up from now this thing is really cool. This is one of the things going in that I knew I'd wanted to pick up. From Octeal, I did get one of his Godzilla spine like pendants. I'm gonna open this right now because
it's so cool.
Now he had a lot of colorways of this, and it was very hard to pick one. It was the kind of thing where I was like, I could see myself buying 10 of these because he had kind of like the classic blue glow. Some of them are he had some blanks. He had like Christmas colors. Some have glitter, red ones, purple. Like he had every combination. This one I like the most because this has got like a glitter in it.
Yeah,
and
that was the best one.
You can see the clear bits, like where the paint or whatever doesn't go all the way, and I just really like that because it looks like a spine inside of a spine. Also, I was told by him that it's 2 pieces, and you can pop this.
That's really good.
You can either unscrew it or pop it off. I'm not going to do it right now, but he did say they were 2 pieces, and I don't know.
Magic potion.
You could pour some apple juice in there or something if you're going on a hike and you need like 1 ounce of apple juice or water. Apple juice is probably not good for a hike, but some tart cherry juice or something that's good for you. I don't know. This is just fun. I love this.
It looks like almost like koi fish scales right there. It looks like koi.
It does.
It's good. Octeal's. Oh, and we got to hang out with Octeal. I know we didn't mention him at the beginning.
Got to meet him in person. Yep. You've met him, but I hadn't. Yep. So yeah, it was all very cool. Very, very cool. I got just a couple more things here. Jay, this is something I don't buy a lot of Hedora. Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I don't buy any Hedora, dude. I like Hedora, and you had a couple cool Hedora pieces
Yeah.
that I was kind of mad didn't sell. I was really hoping that they would sell because they were really nice. I just don't buy it as much. I don't see any that really call to me as often. But they had Toy Art Gallery had a listen. We're gonna. Do you remember what his name is? Zanola. Was that it?
Zanola, and the artist was Daganguda.
Daganguda, yeah. So they had this Hedora, and a lot of people were talking about it before the show started because of how cool it was.
Yeah.
And I got one. Look at this. It's like he's like a brain.
Yeah.
What is that? Hey, that's not the cool part. You know what the cool part is, Jay? He comes apart, much like a brain. Look,
Yeah.
you can't even tell.
It's like
much like a
class.
brain. Yeah, he comes apart, pops right back together. He's got some magnets in there. This is cool. I just love it.
Cool.
I love weird, gross stuff. I mean, listen, I picked up some intestines, a brain. This is my new thing. I want gross
it's like Frankenstein. You're putting together one. Yeah, I love.
I want gross Sofubi. Love this. This was my first pickup. This was the first thing I grabbed.
And how many did they have? 2, 1.
So I think they only had 2 because when I went over to grab it. I was listening to them and they couldn't find. They were like, "Oh, we only got the one back here," and they were like, "Oh, well, did somebody?" They said a name like somebody that they'd be like, "Oh, did he come pick one up?" He said he wanted one, and they were like, "No, it's just these." And they handed me mine, and then they had the one on display, and I think that was it. I think they just had 2 or 3 there, maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it sounded like this might have been at the show in a small quantity. I'm not sure.
That's
I
awesome.
do know the artist sold some of these on his site, and he had a couple different. I think there might be other colorways of this. I'm not 100%, but listen, this is the colorway you want because it's red and black. It's a brain. It's a Hedora type thing. Love this weird fucking guy.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more things, Jay. This next toy, I don't know who this kaiju is. I don't fucking know. I can't even remember its name half the time, but this was at your booth.
Oh, I know which one. Yeah.
This was something you were selling.
Yeah.
And now anybody who any Godzilla booth or Sofubi booth is going to have, tons of stuff that you want or you're impressed by. And your booth is definitely like that. Like I sit there, we're setting up and I was like, cool, well, I'm taking this home. I'm taking this home. I want this. But there was one thing in particular that I didn't jump on right away, but it was like by middle of the first full day, I could not stop staring at it. It was like I kept thinking about it. So I was like, I guess I need to buy this. I guess I need to get this from Jay.
Yeah.
And this is it.
There he is.
But what is it? Baraba?
Yeah,
Baraba. This is
Ultraman Ace.
An Ultraman Ace figure. Everything about this I fell in love with. He's the weirdest looking kaiju. And also I looked up what he looks like in the show. Yeah. He's better here. He looks better as a toy than he does in the show. They were flattering with the sculpting of this guy. But this is what Sofubi is about to me. He is super weird. Yeah. Like all of the choices are odd. Like this weird horn it's like at a weird angle. He's got a flat face. I love when monsters don't have hands. Like Gigan and Megalon not having hands but being friends is the funniest thing to me. Yeah. There's just it's all weird. It's like somebody purposefully was designing this and was like, let me make all the choices that I would never make.
Yeah.
His scales on the back here are totally different than like what's on the front. And then on top of that, I feel like this is a color combination. I don't have anything, these colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that like that color combination, I feel like because this is a Hakaba Gallery exclusive. I just feel like it fits in line with a lot of the stuff that they do, especially from Bullmark, where they push it a little bit on the colorways and do some really cool purples and greens and metallics and stuff. And I think that's why this one I think just stands out. I mean, hey, we had a lot of really cool Sofubi on that display, and that one stood out.
It did, and it's like the purple and the gold, those two colors look really good together, and it's just something you don't see. Like if I'm looking at my collection, I have one other toy that I think could sit on the shelf with this. And do you know what it is, Jay?
What's that?
It's that Death Jaguar. Remember that?
Yes. Oh yeah.
That purple that is the only other figure I have that comes close to being like this.
I think it was a Decon exclusive too, right?
I think it was. Yeah. It was either it was some sort of exclusive. But yeah, I don't know, man. And what's crazy about it is like this isn't anything rare. You know, your price tag on this was probably lower end of the stuff you were selling, but it called to me, dude. It's
a great piece.
I love this guy, and on top of that, it's gonna push me to watch Ultraman Ace, which is something I probably would have got to at some point, but you know, it's the same thing that happened with Dodongo. I saw Dodongo and I was like, well, this is the dumbest guy I've ever seen, and I love him. And it made me go watch Dodongo, you know, those episodes or that episode. And that's what I'll do with this. Like, this is going to push me to watch something that I hadn't seen yet. So thank you.
Yeah.
Jack.
That, like you said, he is, we talked about this when you picked that up, but he has one of the funnier, gruesome B horror movie type deaths of all the. I keep on saying Ultra Kaiju. I guess technically he's a Choju, a terrible monster.
Yeah.
Which we get, you know, that gets unveiled to us in Ultraman Ace. But yeah, it's a fun episode to watch. And yeah, I love that sculpt. I love that colorway. That's a pretty damn good toy.
Yeah, I agree. I got one more pickup here before I think this is it. Now, Jay,
this was swimming in pickups.
This is the thing that was the most exciting to me, maybe, and it's because I didn't know it was going to be there. I missed this figure on its initial run a while back. I just missed it. I don't remember what the circumstances were. I missed it. And it was something I follow the artist online, and I had been seeing him. You know, I've been following him before he was producing toys. And then when he finally produced a toy of one of his drawings, I was like, this is genius. I love this. And then I think it was the first full day. Maybe it was Saturday. And we had closed up for the night, and we were on our way out. We were walking through all the empty booths, and I saw this at a table, and I freaked out, and I was like, oh my God. And, you know, the night was over, so I couldn't buy it. So I had to think about it all night. And then in the morning, you know, we get there early. Some of the other vendors don't like to get there until the show starts. So I keep like peeking around the corner in the morning to see if they're there yet, so I could buy this thing. This is from Vega Relics, and it is Mecca Milk.
There it is.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
It is a Mecha Godzilla. It's all like embossed. It is a Sofubi of a carton of Mecha Godzilla milk. And what I really love, because Jay, you know me, I don't partake in milk or animal products. Fuck that bullshit. But this implies that there's no dairy in it. Better than dairy.
Vegan.
I'm gonna say it right here. Mecca Milk is vegan, and vegan is the future. And fuck you if you're mad at me for saying that. This is amazing. I love Mecca Milk. This is so cool. I talked to the guy who was running the booth, and he said Francisco is the name of the artist. He's a tattoo artist in France. And he said that there's more stuff on the way from
I love that.
I think they're gonna do some like beer cans or something with kaiju on it. Listen, I don't drink beer either, but I'll buy a kaiju beer can.
Root beer.
It's root beer. That's what I think. I love this. This is so cool. This is just such a weird. I don't know, man. Like, you know, Ryan and Craig don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, Mad Hatter doesn't get it. These are toys.
Yeah.
This is beyond toys. This is a piece of fucking art right here.
Yeah.
And the only thing I wish is that I could actually drink out of it. This is amazing.
That is that's my biggest regret. I'll be honest with you. My biggest regret is I didn't pick up on my way out another I would pick up a Mecca Milk. I think that might have been one of the coolest toys there, one of the coolest things there.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous in person. Like
It
it's
is.
not. There's sometimes we're like, oh, it's a funny, quirky idea. Okay, it looks cool in 2-dimensional form, but it's really well done. It's awesome. It's worth every penny.
I agree.
Yeah, they nailed it. There were 3 colorways they had there. You got the best one, I think.
Yeah.
It's a great piece. I'm going to be scrambling to try to find one here. But it's awesome. It's great. I mean, well done, man. I'm glad you spotted it because I didn't see it. I mean, until you said, "Oh crap, there's Mecca Milk." I had no idea. I'd seen it like on Instagram. The stuff that the art of Vega Relics and I forgot the name of the artist Francisco had posted, but I didn't know it was going to be there.
Yeah, me either. I missed all that, so I was happy to see it. Man, a lot of good pickups. And listen, my 3 size-wise biggest pickups aren't even here yet, and I want to talk about them. So we'll talk about.
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
You speaking of those 3 pickups,
yeah,
you got to buy an Unraku and Saku from Metacom directly.
Listen, let's just go ahead and talk about it. I did get Metacom. Metacom was there, and they had a lot of non-Godzilla big bear brick things, which they're popular, not
and expensive.
Me, they're popular and expensive, and I don't give a fuck about them.
Yeah,
but there was what was it? It was we were setting up, and dude, I love Michael so much because everybody. It's like, oh, cool. We can go to a place where everybody else is as big as a nerd about Godzilla as you are. Michael like runs to the booth while we're setting up as if there was some sort of emergency.
There's a fire.
He was like, guys, you know. Metacom had announced that they were going to have an exclusive in Raku and Saku Shin Godzilla at the show. And I mean, those are all my favorite words. So they had it, and it was 1 per person, and I was able to get one, and that is one of my pickups that I almost made Jay send me clothes back for because I would rather have my toy before the clothes that I wear.
It's an impressive figure. It is. I mean, I mean, a lot of people probably that listen to us have probably already seen the images of it.
Yeah,
but it's Unraku and Saku doing a Shin Godzilla. It's exactly what you think it's going to look like and feel like and be like. And you get the signed by Unraku and Saku, like the little.
It's got a signed card.
It's pretty cool. I mean, the Metacom experience there, because they're the signature toy maker there, a toy dealer there, and it, like I said, it's I don't know, what did you think, like 99% bear brick in there? I mean, it's.
I mean, honestly, the only Godzilla stuff they had were they had the Shin, and then they had 2 sleeping Godzillas.
Oh yeah, the sleeping ones. Yeah,
and other than that, I think it was all bear. I think it was all bear brick.
I mean, it's cool because we're setting up, right? It's Jake, me, and Michael, and Chaz, and it's just an Ash. And it's just us. We're putting together, display units, and we're putting the tarps and the vinyl banners over things and all that good stuff. And and over there's Metacom with literally like heavy construction equipment, like cranes and stuff, building their store within a store.
They built a building inside.
They built a building. And inside it's like a museum. There's couches to lounge on and these like beautiful wooden like cabinets. There's these giant, 3-foot tall bear bricks that are going for thousands and thousands of dollars. It was a spectacle and it was awesome. And I get it. Like I get like, it could be like, if they love that stuff, wow. It was just funny because in one of these giant, like huge wooden, beautiful shelves they built in this mini museum, there's a Shin Godzilla sitting there.
Just like, hanging out.
Yeah, okay.
Like, pick me, guys.
I know, right? And it was very, very cool. It was cool to experience it.
Yeah.
And especially cool to know that like the only thing I cared about in there, these 3 little items as opposed to these.
I wanted to push the bear bricks out of my way. Get the fuck out of my way, Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse's face on a bear.
Oh no! It literally would have been like Domino, like Stonehenge and National Lampoon. It would have been great. But it was such an impressive booth. One of the most. I mean, Mondo's booth was ridiculous.
I told them this. I think Mondo's booth looked the best that I've ever seen it. It looked so. I really loved their setup this time.
Yeah,
their setup is always like kind of similar, but you could tell they've been like tweaking it, and I think at Decon, it was, to me, it was the best layout. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, Metacom, amazing. Mondo, like far as setups. Tokidoki, they had a huge one. Toy Cube and the Astro Boy Reimagined ones were up there in the front. They were really cool booths as well. There was just a lot of cool stuff. It was great.
Yep.
There were some that weren't as great, kind of shockingly, some weren't great. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool to be able for you to be able to go into an official Metacom outpost and buy in on Raku and Saku in the United States without all the other, stuff that usually goes on.
Not having to worry. That was another cool thing, not having to worry about, like, honestly, we've come to know Sofubi as being like it's a very expensive hobby, and not that I'm not saying stuff at Decon's not expensive, but because you're getting everything directly from the artists, the seller, everything felt cheaper than it should have been. I was like, I would have paid you more than that for this. You know what I mean? It was like 100%. Anytime I didn't want to ask how much something was, I did and was like surprised. And being able to go to Metacom and buy it in Raku straight from them, and it doesn't kill your fucking bank account. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool, almost surreal experience, and then looking over and you seeing Kaminaga and and Sun Guts and Max Toy and the Creature Bazaar Draculazer guys. I mean, just all there, and Mondo. It was just a surreal experience. It was very, very, very cool, and I'll always remember it. It's very good, and I'm just ready for next year.
Yeah, me too. I think it's I think we'll be there. I think we'll be back next year for sure. It was a lot of fun, and also it was in Las Vegas. We got to eat a lot of good food. Me and Jay both lost money on a Godzilla slot machine, and we ate donuts, and
every day.
Every day we ate some donuts, and it was cool, man. The drive was cool. We stopped by the Hoover Dam on the way home.
Yeah.
It was.
We got lost on the train tracks. We
I
said
don't want to talk about that.
Okay, we had to scale over. We had to scale overpasses to get home before we got. But yes, we did do that before.
We got lost and stuck in a not
on our feet, not
spot.
in the car. Yeah,
it was not good. It was really good. The scenery was nice. It was a fun long drive. It felt good. It sucked having to go to work today.
Hey, and you got to see your first tumbleweed. So
I saw a tumbleweed. I did. I saw a tumbleweed. I got some nice cold weather, which I love. It was like 23 or 24 degrees in Arizona. And the only thing I'm a little bummed about is I really wanted to see a road runner. And a lot of the, once you get out to like those those states, they use road runners in a lot of their imagery, and there's statues of road runners everywhere, but I didn't see a goddamn road runner the whole trip. So fuck them. I just think they are probably very fun and cool to look at. So
we'll have to take a different.
Saw a lot of trains though. Saw a lot of cows and
a lot of cows and trains and horses and metal sculptures of dinosaurs, and
it was great.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely be back next year. Also, there is a video coming to YHS on Monster Island very soon. I do have a video edited together.
Very cool.
It's about 9 to 10 minutes long, and it's mainly like it's kind of a B-roll video. It's like I'm gonna put some like chill music to it, and it's just encompassing the whole weekend. It should be up in the next couple of days. So
are you gonna narrate it?
No, not at all. I think at first, we used to do, like, YHS used to do a lot of videos where we're like, Craig, I'm doing a film, say something, But this time, I just like to film everything. Anytime we're doing something cool, just film it for a couple seconds and then throw all the footage together.
Yeah,
and put
like your toy room tour was great.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is. It's like the toy room tour. But Jay, you will notice, even though we did a booth tour, which is already up, if anybody hasn't seen it. This is a 9-minute video, and maybe 7 minutes of it are your toys, are close-ups of all the toys. Like, it's everything. So
awesome.
It'll be up soon. We'll get that done. But other than that, Jay, you got anything else? Or
no, man, it was so much fun. Like I said, I'm sad it's over. I'm in that kind of post-con luckily no post-con crud, but I have post-con depression.
That's true.
But it's
I have that.
Yeah, but it's
so fun being at a convention where, like I said earlier, it feels, even if you don't know these people, it feels like you've known them your whole life.
Yeah.
And then having to come back to the shitty little town you live in where you don't know anybody or have any friends, and you just look at your toys and watch TV until you fall asleep.
I'm now sad.
Hey, cut that part. Cut that out.
Nope.
I'm kidding. I got friends. I just don't have any friends that know anything about Godzilla in this town. So, listen, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna play with these toys. I'm gonna set up a little photo booth here, and I'm gonna take pictures of everybody. Everybody's gonna get glamour shots, and I'm gonna go drink some Mecca Milk.
Adios. Is Jake drinking the Mecca Milk? He froze. We don't know.
Oh, there he froze right at the end.
Yes, I think he was drinking some Mecca Milk. There he is. Did he freeze again? No,
I can hear you. There we go.
Oh, man. Bye.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Bye.